Anna and I are off during school holidays. We're going to see a waterfall. We're going to Mason's Falls today, which is in Kinglake in Victoria. Beautiful place. Off we go. Mason's Falls is a beautiful waterfall situated on Running Creek, which flows through the wilderness of the Kinglake National Park, some 65 kilometers northeast of Melbourne City. Running Creek is part of a watershed that flows into Arthurs Creek, which eventually empties into Yarra River. It takes about an hour to get there from Mill Park, which is in Melbourne's northern suburbs, and this is via Plenty Road to Whittlesea, and then from there via Whittlesea-Yea Road. The waterfall itself is a 45-metre tiered cascade where the water flows down multiple distinct levels that have been shaped into rocky ledges over a long period of time, all of which creates spectacular visual and sound effects for those who come to visit this beautiful place. The best time to visit, according to Parks Victoria, is in spring and winter, when the supply of water is usually at its highest. But the experience is no less during autumn when we went. The waterfall is accessed via Mason's Falls picnic area, which is hidden deep in the dense rainforest, and it is accessible via a sealed road. The picnic area is equipped with picnic tables, barbecues and toilets. However, it does not have drinking water supply, so you do need to bring water and other basics when visiting. There are multiple options in terms of walking tracks to Mason's Falls from the picnic area, including the Lyrebird Circuit, which is only about 500 meters long, the scenic route, which is almost a kilometer in length each way, and longer and more challenging hikes such as a Running Creek Walk, which is about 7.8 kilometers in length. So there is something for everyone. Well, there you go, 500 meters long. We're going to the falls for now. We may decide to go and do the circuit later on, but this is beautiful. How lush is this rainforest? Look at that moss on this tree. Look, and on the right, the big tree as well. I just realized you were looking at the little ones.
Yeah.
That is so interesting, yeah. Clearly there's a lot of moisture here. That's when they fall. But definitely a cool day.
Resuming workout.
And oh, wow. I did not expect that. Good. ride, and Anna and I are now at Wombelano Falls, and we're going to do a circuit now. It's only 1.5 kilometers return, but there's no single soul in here. This is pretty remote, deep in the Kinglake National Park. Pretty awesome. So this is the beginning point. That's the car park right here. It's just a small car park. We've just come from Mason's Falls, and here we are. We're going to do this trek now. Pretty cool. Wombelano Falls is about 15.8 kilometers from Mason's Falls, or about 20 minutes drive. But unlike Mason's Falls, this place is a hidden gem and much more remote. Even the access to it is an unsealed road for about 2 kilometers, which leads to a small car park where we started our walk. Although Wombelano Falls is also situated within the Kinglake National Park, it seemed far more remote and isolated, with a narrow, overgrown vegetation track that leads all the way down to the viewing platform from which the waterfall can be seen. As soon as we left the car park, we were surrounded by absolute wilderness of the lush rainforest, which has clearly been devoid of any human activity. We passed wombat burrows and heard sounds of the wildlife which we could not even recognize. We truly felt on our own, and my main concern was snakes in the thick foliage around the track all the way down and back up to the car park during our hike. Yeah, it's pretty wild. This is pretty wild. What is? Just keep paying attention to, like, in front of you and on the sides, yeah? Especially on the left side. Although, with some of our snakes, like especially Eastern Brown, and they're so agile, they can go up, down, it does not matter. The only thing is they're not really interested in people. So you just don't want to happen to come across them too close. That's the only time when they can get dangerous. Wow, this is getting narrower and narrower. This is incredible. We had a long walk through a really wild forest, very narrow track. In parts it goes over a bit of a ledge, but it's pretty secure. Nevertheless, there's not a soul in here, even in the car park. It's very wild, this place, in the Kinglake National Park. I don't know if I can zoom in onto I'm not even gonna try, but the waterfall is back there somewhere. This is the viewing platform. We were the only people hiking, and when coupled with how remote the place was, it made our visit somewhat eerie, but all that more special at the same time. what a experience. I'm not surprised that there's not a single person in here, even though it's school holidays. This place is pretty wild. It's very hidden. When I read about it last night, it did say that you're more likely to actually be either by yourself, alone, or there's rarely any visitors. In fact, the last 3 kilometers of the road that brings us here, it's pretty steep incline now. You okay, Anna? So, the last 3 kilometers of the road that brings us here is pretty much one way, or not rather one way, it's just wide enough for one vehicle. And it's unsealed. And then when we got to the small little car park, there were no other cars there. There's basically no one there, which makes it, I suppose, even more of an experience because very tranquil here. I did not know about this place until last night, but extremely worth doing it. So I'll film again in a minute. It is getting a bit arduous going uphill now. We heard definitely some sort of noise in the trees. I'm puffed up from walking uphill. We think it might be koala, but we can't spot it in the gum trees. Well, anyway, let's keep going. All right, let's go. We might come across another one. Let's just keep going. What are those holes? Look, in the ground.
I think they're for ants.
Easy. That is insane. That was so good. So so that track would have come back here as well. It's like a circuit. No, yeah. Okay, well, now we know at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But oh, that was such a walk. That was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
It was.
We did it. We did it.
Well
That
done.
was wild. I'm so happy we did that in Kinglake National Park.